What is going on, everybody? My name is Alex Freeberg, and today we're going to be walking through case statements in SQL. A case statement allows you to specify a condition, and then it also allows you to specify what you want returned when that condition is met. So we're going to be using this employee demographics table that we're looking at right here. We're going to walk through the syntax of how to create a case statement, and then we're going to actually go into some use cases at the end. So let's start off by specifying what columns we want. Let's say we want the first name, we want the last name, and we want the age. Now, let's just get that information. Now, for our case statement, we're going to be using this age column. So we actually want the age to be in there. So let's specify where age is not null and run that. So now we have a pretty good look at it. And let's just order by age, just to clean it up a little bit. So now let's start building our case statement. So we're going to say case, and then we want to say when. Now we need to specify what condition we want to look for. So let's do when age is greater than 30. Then what do we want to be returned? So we want to return that they are old. Else, so that means anything that is not over the age of 30, we want to return young. And then you need to specify that you are done with the case statement, and so you'll write end at the very bottom. So this is our first case statement. Let's run it and see what we get. So as you can see, a new column was created, and if the person is over the age of 30, so 31 and up, they're given old. And if they're not over the age of 30, they are given young. Now we can do as many when and then statements as we want. So if we want to, we can also do when the age is between 27 and 30, then we want to return young, and anyone else we're going to call a baby. So now we have Ryan Howard as the baby. Anyone between 27 and 30, they're considered young, and anyone over the age of 30 is old. Now something to note is that the very first condition that is met is going to be returned. So if there are multiple conditions that meet the criteria, only the very first one is going to be returned. And let's demonstrate that real quick. So if the age equals 38, then return Stanley, because that is Stanley. And let's execute this real quick. So right here, I'm specifying that if it's 38, it should return Stanley, but he is right here, and it still says old. And that's because this condition was already met. Now, if we were to put this right here, it should work correctly. And let's try it out. So now because this condition is met first, it is going to return Stanley down here. So now let's get into our first use case. Let's start off by copying this and then commenting it out. I only did that because I don't want to rewrite it because I'm lazy. Let's get rid of that. And let's look at this real quick. We are going to join on another table that we have really fast. And that's going to be SQL tutorial. If you've watched my other videos, then you know this table. And we're going to do that on employee demographics dot employee ID is equal to employee salary dot employee ID. Okay. So let's just look at everything in these tables really quick. Now we are going to be focusing on the job title and the salary column, but we want their first name and last name as well. So let's start building that out. Let's do first name, last name, job title, and salary. And let's look at this really quick. So now we have our employees, and here is the situation. We had a fantastic year this year selling paper, and corporate has allowed Michael Scott to give out a yearly raise to every single employee. But not every employee is going to get the same raise, because our salesmen are genuinely the people who made us our money, and they're going to get the biggest raises, while other people really aren't going to get that big of a raise. So now let's go through and create a case statement to calculate what their salary will be after they get their raise. So let's start off by saying case and when, and we want it to say when job title is equal to salesman. So when they are a salesman, what do we want to happen? So this is where the calculation occurs. So we're going to take their salary, and then we're going to add their salary times how much their raise is going to be. So the salesman did really, really well, and we want to give them a 10% raise this year. Now, when their job title is equal to accountant, then, and we'll take their salary, we will give them, let's give them a 5% raise. Still very generous. There we go. And when the job title is equal to HR, then it's going to be the salary plus the salary times, and then we're going to do 0.0001. All right, and else we are just going to do salary plus salary, let's do parenthesis, times, and let's just give everyone else a 3% raise, and then we'll write end. Now let's take a look at our results. So here's what we have so far. We have our first name, our last name, our job title, and our salary. That is our current salary. And then we're going to have our salary after we get our raise. So I'm going to actually write that up here. So let's do as salary after raise. And let's execute that. So let's look at these raises really quick. So we have $45,000, and since he is a salesman, he gets a 10% raise, which is a raise of $4,500. So $45,000 plus $4,500 is $49,500. And as you can see down here, we have HR, who is making $50,000, and now he is making $50,000.05. So everybody got a raise. So that is our case statement. I hope that was helpful. I find myself using the case statement a lot when I'm wanting to categorize things or label things. And that's kind of what we did in the first example. And you can even do calculations like we did in this use case. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you learned anything from this video, be sure to like and subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next video.